Welcome to a new episode of DAG Podcast. I'm glad you're here. Today we are going to talk about spirituality, its aspects, impact in our life, and how to become a spiritual human being. We know very well that when we are traumatized, our brain, mind, and body are affected. We know that the trauma is stored in our brain and body, and that a high A score or higher has extreme implications for our health and well-being, ranging from increased risk to committing suicide to cancers and autoimmune conditions. When it comes to our body, the periaqueductal gray PAG might fire all the time, having the amygdala shut down our prefrontal cortex due to the release of stress hormones such as cortisol, and leave us with a diminished capacity to reason. Or that the insula, which is the part of the brain that deals with sensations in our body, is processing signals of distress felt in our body as gut-wrenching sensations. A less explored aspect of trauma in the Western world is the spiritual aspect. We are not simply biopsychosocial beings, we are biopsychosocial spiritual human beings. The spiritual aspect has been forgotten as the history of colonialism has perpetrated violence on those who were embodied and in touch with human nature. The perpetrators have themselves lost touch with the spiritual aspect of living a sacred life, and the recoil of the trauma inflicted on the victims had the victims perpetrate violence between each other and thus forget the spiritual aspect of their way of life. It's important to distinguish, though, that not everyone abused has abused others. In the hunter-gatherer tribes that the human beings grew and developed in, knowing when a danger was imminent was a potentially life-saving capability. Those who were more relaxed in the face of danger didn't survive and thus didn't pass their genes on. It's also important to note that as human beings evolved from tightly knit hunter-gatherer groups, where everyone was valued for their skills and what could bring to the group, to the tribes, humans started to freely associate with different tribes and also develop compassion for what's different. Therefore, sharing of spiritual practices was central to those who married in different tribes and to those who married from the same tribe. Besides having the holding of the tribe in raising children, spirituality was a central aspect of living life. Connecting with a higher power is a need humans have as they experience awe, gratitude, and storytelling, which contribute to better bonding, but also serves a resourcing aspect in having hope and going beyond the self. Mindfulness meditation often employs the act and experience of connecting to a higher power, often going from the self to those in the same household, perhaps family members such as parents, siblings, pets, partners, or acquaintances such as roommates, to the community, the tribe, to the city, country, continent, planet, and then into the universe, solar system, galaxy, the local group, Virgo supercluster, universe as a whole. And when mindfulness meditation doesn't work, one might do psychedelics in a holding and therapeutic environment to experience connecting with a higher power. A higher power can also be one found in religion, for example God, or any form of a higher power who is wise, holding figure that is nourishing and assuring. People who are spiritual are often more resilient. They connect and have more in common with the people in their lives and find themselves more resourced. Spirituality also brings an aspect of sacredness into one's life, bringing a deeper respect for life and for death, and thus for the cycle of life. A respect for the elderly and for their wisdom, as well as being attuned to the changes risk-taking brings, whether positive or less positive. Connection to a higher power also respects Mother Nature for nourishing every life form on the planet, the sacredness of the human body and of our pets and animals, thus being in harmony. Connecting to a higher power is a need that is often met when the rest of our needs are met. When we meet our needs and connect to a higher power, we influence the rest of the needs and find more meaning in our life, may experience awe, gratitude, and find contentment. What can we do if we lost touch or never experienced connection to a higher power? Since trauma is disconnection, we need to find our way back to connection. Connecting with ourselves is the first step. To this extent, seeking psychotherapeutic help can be the first step in healing. A trauma psychotherapist can aid us in getting back home to ourselves. In episode 5, I have given examples of trauma modalities that can be of help, as well as adjunct treatment supporting the therapeutic process. It's not impossible to connect with a higher power that resonates with us. It takes being first connected with ourselves, getting to know ourselves, and exploring what higher power we resonate with and like to connect with, and then start doing it regularly. Thank you for listening. If you appreciate this episode, please give a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps a ton. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next episode.